champion select. We are into game 1 of the MSI 2019 finals. Team Liquid taking on G2 eSports. And what shocks me already was TL was on the receiving end in 96% of their games of the Taric ban. It's TL themselves actually dropping it off the table. Oh, I take that back. We do have, the graphics are wrong. G2 is the blue side here. They are the ones who banned Taric. They are the ones who dropped that off the table here, as Team Liquid do again receive that ban.
So it is G2 with the Galio, the Taric, and the Rise ban. Fascinating that they actually look to take that one away. Typically, when we see Team Liquid playing on the red side, they actually put a lot of focus onto denying that Rise pick away from their opposition. Or actually, in their semifinal, they left it open, and then they traded it to grab the Sylas themselves.
Exactly. The Sylas has been their most successful of the flex picks, and the Rise so successful for G2. So it's so weird to see each team banning those two champions out and leaving up the junglers. Let's take a look here. And there it is. The Jarvan is going to be the first one locked in. So much success throughout this tournament with junglers that have the ability to make the early game impact on the different lanes.
And again, I want to reiterate, the graphic has been updated. G2 did choose blue side for game 1, as was their right as the higher seed. This is Wunder taking the Jarvan, bringing it out of Xmithie's hands, giving it to Jankos.
Now, I wonder if Team Liquid do what they often did during the group stage, or the second half of the group stage rather, and prioritize this bot side of the map. In their semifinals, they usually went for the Sylas into jungle pick, whether that be the Rek'Sai, the Jarvan, and sometimes even the Skarner. But this time right now, they've already locked in Varus. This heavily suggests that with the Galio gone, Tahm Kench should be the priority.
And some of the reasons throughout this turn that we've seen so much priority put on Varus, very strong laner. Also, bringing the ultimate with that crowd control to the mid-game team fights is a huge part of the identity of Team Liquid.
Speaking of identity, Xmithie gonna lock in the Skarner. This was the champion that he used to get that 4th game victory over Invictus Gaming, picking it into the Rek'Sai and finding a lot of success. And I think Team Liquid, they didn't want to go Tahm Kench here because they were afraid of the Xayah Rakan duo. And they have the option to pivot right now, but it looks like that they don't want it.
Rakan, a very big pick for Mykix. Looks best when he is on an aggressor, when he can go forward, start the team fights. PerkZ, of course, really good on the Xayah alongside it. As a player, back when he was a mid laner, would still play Xayah and get funneled on it. Certainly a lot of expertise in this champion. This is a premier bottom lane for G2.
Yeah, definitely a huge second round couple of power picks here for G2. Mykix, some of the biggest moments for this player have been on the flashy champions that can create those engages, start those skirmishes, catch people off guard. And one of the reasons, Vedius, you're kind of alluding to possible pivots away from Tahm Kench after the Rakan, with the charm up, you can collect multiple members, with your CC and your engages. He does have to be a little bit careful of the burst damage coming out of the other side. And oftentimes we'll see teams that are against Rakan, especially in the mid lane, draft some of that burst damage to try and instantly kill him upon initiation, because that is a weakness of the champion, bit squishy.
G2 now looking to take away some of the safe picks that Impact has often defaulted to, the Kennen being the main one. They may look to take away the Gangplank, but he didn't actually play it a single time in their best of 5 against Invictus Gaming. So we'll see what G2 look to take away off the board. Maybe they look to take away Jensen, Syndra, or Orianna if they consider it a big threat, considering that the LeBlanc is already gone away from Caps.
Lissandra, of course, up as well if we are going to see mages throughout in the mid lane here. One final ban for G2 eSports. How good is their homework? What do they think Team Liquid would pick to best round out the composition? Vladimir is off the table. It's 2 bans at Impact. Typically plays long range, safe laners who don't need help, can get away from the 1v2s and then flank in the team fights. The Kennen, the Vladimir, and the Nico, all prime picks for him, are gone.
Exactly. Those big AoE abilities for team fights have been the common thread in Impact's picks. So very good, I think, couple of last bans there on the side of G2 to try and take that away. But he goes right back to where he started. In the group stage, Impact, the single best performing player of Team Liquid. Gangplank was a mainstay, tries to stay safe on the top side. And a big difference between Gangplank and the Kennen or Vladimir is that the ultimate can be committed without having to use your teleport to the other side of the map.
Well, now we see the Swain coming out from G2. Expectations are that this will be put up towards the top side. This was something we saw from Europe actually a lot last year and was a very common answer to things like the GP. We're also actually seeing a Morgana in the mid lane for Caps. This came out yesterday up against faker for the side of Caps, and he wasn't able to have a huge amount of impact on it.
And now it means that you get the counter pick possibility here for Jensen in the mid lane. Team Liquid credited him with the reason for their win over IG was camp rookie, get Jensen ahead. He's a good player. He can carry us through. That strategy did work. And now Orianna, I would say Jensen's #1 signature pick, is here in game 1 of the final.
And with these last 2 lock-ins of the mid laners, I don't expect as much camp towards the mid lane. Morgana Black Shield, the reason for this last pick here from G2. Such a good defense against Skarner. Makes it so you don't have to pay those QSS taxes quite as quickly and quite as focused there. The Black Shield's such a good defense. So we will see how they get through the early game here, because again, my eyes turn towards the top side. This Swain pick for G2 seems to be one of the most advantageous points.
My expectations are that both teams actually look to invest a lot of resources towards the bot side of the map. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jankos actually make a level 2 play down on the duo to try and burn some summoner spells and see if they can leverage the level 6 spike of this Xayah Rakan.
Biggest choice for Jankos. Will he go for the bottom side like you're talking about, or try and dive the Gangplank?
We've got to see. Coaches shake hands after game 1 of Champions Select, a best of 5. There are at least 2 more drafts to go, but we're hoping it goes all the way to that 5th game. It's on to the 10 players' hands now. You hope the guidance you gave them was enough. You hope their practice got them ready for this event. But this will be the first ever major championship for North America and the first for Europe since 2011. G2 are the new ones to hold that mantle in Europe, and Team Liquid were built for this, to create a team that could win out of North America. And we are on to the Rift, that headless trophy in that top lane. That head will be replaced at the conclusion of this series with one of those icons. G2 or Tia will be immortalized in Summoner's Rift itself for winning MSI 2019.
I just want to revel in a couple more seconds for the fact that merely us being here now in this finals, G2 and Team Liquid have forced the entire competitive League of Legends scene into a paradigm shift. EU and NA fighting for everything.
Whew. That was a great moment, Kobe. I liked it a lot. Right,
I'm glad you were here to share it with me. But
and
the fight is
already beginning. A knock-up there on Jensen getting auto-attacked a bit. He should stay alive if the pool comes down, and a flag drops him dangerously low. Mickey could have considered actually committing the Ignite initially, but out they go after he earns about 30 gold.
Jensen is sitting on the cleanse. Mickey, the cooldown of the W is coming up soon. They could look for a play onto CoreJJ. Forced to flash very early on. Questionable decision-making there from CoreJJ.
Yeah, waiting in the brush, knowing 4 members are coming just to get a tongue lash, and then having to blow your flash for it. North America already on the losing end here of the level 1.
But TL's bottom lane will be able to get priority in this 2 versus 2 because PerkZ and Mickey forced to assist in terms of the early jungle advantage. But actually CoreJJ and DoubleLift not going to try and leverage this right now. So actually it's going to be a very even start.
And you can watch the pathing for the Jarvan of G2 right now. Jankos is in the river right now. Scuttle spawns in a few seconds, but he's already next to that brush as well. If there is a gank to be had, now he's on a ward, so it's not going to be too stealthy. But if there was an attempt for a bot lane pressure, it would be there.
Meanwhile, Xmithie clears off the red buff and the Raptor camp before heading into the top side scuttle. They will trade after the vision's been given over. Looks like Jankos is headed towards the Scuttle Crab to try and contest it. His mid lane is pushed. Xmithie does not have the support of his lanes.
He has the damage though, and with it being stunned, Smite will do bonus damage, gets it out before his opposing jungler can show up. And Xmithie is currently up a camp right now as Wunder. Grabs to the 3 gold off the top, couple of 3 health, and we see the top lane was pushed in as the expectation is for this matchup.
Yeah, that is the exchange of going for the possibility of an early gank. Look, just trying to get down to the Skullcraft first there for Jankos, whereas Xmithie immediately on Skarner. You can annihilate those AoE camps even early on.
Now, what you'll notice is that Wunder running the Grasp of the Undying rather than the typical Klepto that we often see for Swain picks. One of the reasons for that is because something we've talked a lot about is how Impact likes to play safe, and on the Gangplank, it can be difficult to necessarily pick pick up those Klepto procs. So going for more of the sustain route and going much more for the, I'm just going to trade back with you every now and then. You try and hit me with your Q. Well, fun fact, I'm going to hit you with mine. And you can see how every single time, Wunder's coming out ahead in the trade.
Nice stun on a CoreJJ, dropped down about half HP, puts up the shield, but still chunked down about 250 as Guardian pops down as well. Good trading out of the G2 duo.
Yeah, and good focus there. You want to continue to attack the Tahm Kench. There's no flash on CoreJJ, as well as whittling down the health bar. If you can get through the potions, then you can do so much work pressuring and forcing them to lose CS. Control ward goes down for Xmithie in order to clear out some of the G2 vision. But because the bottom lane for G2 was able to push there, they also get the Scryer's Bloom plant and information on the enemy jungler's whereabouts.
Yeah, thanks to the pressure that G2's bot lane is applying, G2 actually have pressure in all 3 lanes right now. The Morgana has consistently pushed up in this 1v1. It's very difficult for many mages to trade against the Morg because you see this Tormented Soil, it goes down, it forces the push, and the Black Shield means that you're often going to lose out on these small trades in the lane.
Plus the fact that the level 1 forced Jensen 2 corrupting potion charges very early on, took 90% of his health bar in damage off the invade from G2. Currently, we're having a look bottom from Jankos in that fog of war right now.
And using that brush right there, so if there is a play to be had, it could be a knockup on a double. You can see CoreJJ playing towards the back. The slowest there, the knockup, they're gonna find one! And they're burning down CoreJJ! First blood for G2 in the final! Xmithie has to run for the hills as TP comes in from an extra member. There is no extra kill to be had as Caps looks for a bind, finds damage on a double. He's still taking the shots! Under the turret they go! Forcing the flash! What a play out of G2!
Still, G2 focusing on that weakness that they opened up in the level 1, attacking CoreJJ, no flash on the Tahm Kench. First blood for G2.
Here we see the setup. Jankos comes in from the lane. DoubleLift and CoreJJ expected there to be presence in the river, which is why they were bringing Xmithie down. And notice how they completely ignore DoubleLift and focus the flash, the support you were just saying at Kobe. G2 wanted to leverage where they already had an advantage, and they secure themselves first blood.
Then Caps walking up past the minions here as DoubleLift tries to throw out the arrow, gets the flash off of the AD carry as well.
Great play out of G2 as we have Jankos coming down as well, and he knows there's no ward on him as DoubleLift is very low on health, and Xmithie walks by a ward for this counter gank. This is a known 3-on-3. Now, do they have the damage output? Can CoreJJ save the target? The slow comes in, Mykix jumps back, and it looks like for now a safe recall, but that recall can be stopped. There are wards in that brush.
Great positioning there from CoreJJ to keep his AD carry alive.
They're gonna go.
Ooh, they're going on Xmithie.
They know DoubleLift isn't there. The slow is there on a Tahm Kench. He can eat for a little bit, but he's gonna be knocked up. And here comes the TBs from everyone else. They try to buy some time, but CoreJJ gonna die yet again. No TB for DoubleLift. Instead it's Swain here, and the Gangplank as well. The barrels come in, but there's no chain. He's gonna flash back to safety. The knockup coming in. They're gonna get yet another one. A double kill for PerkZ.
And G2 lead the game with 3 kills at 6 minutes. 2,000 is the goal lead as they find multiple successful ganks down towards the TL duo.
An explosive start right now as Jensen now tries to trade with Caps. Does put the shield on. QW might kill him. Black shield, he flashes. Doesn't dodge the damage, but does stay alive.
Jensen trying to do work there in the mid lane with a disaster for Team Liquid that has gone on the bottom side. G2 are continuing to keep up this pressure. DoubleLift on the ward here, getting the recall off, but Xmithie and CoreJJ still far up in the lane, so as soon as it completes, Jankos and Mykix know they can go for this.
And notice how both top laners have just gone back to base. Wunder is waiting for the potential TP as Impact immediately comes in. At this point, Xmithie and Impact realize they cannot win a 2 versus 4, so they split apart and they get away with minimal losses if they can.
Yeah, G2 know that in all scenarios, they will be up 1 member because DoubleLift does not have teleport on the Varus, and they force him back to base. So even if teleports go off, they will always be answered, and G2 is able to take advantage of those numbers.
And now Impact is in this awkward situation where a slow push has started against him. So in a matchup where he's constantly getting harassed and is forced to kind of play under his turret, he's now forced to overextend without a flash against a level 6 Swain that already has a very big CS advantage.
GG right now smashing this early game, 1,500 gold up, watching the trades now on the bottom side yet again. It is a farm lead for the TL side of things, but 2 kills obviously means a lot more on PerkZ, and we now have the attempt towards top lane. A slow, now comes the cage on top without flash. No easy way out for Impact, trying to run, not rooted just yet, but here comes the Swain ultimate, and they might just have the damage. Oh, he's running for dear life, the flash, as soon as it's enabled, he gets it. Wunder knocks down the 4th kill of the game.
Jankos staying on the warpath here because of the bottom lane shenanigans. No flash on Impact, and he immediately goes to attack it. You pointed out the wave in a very bad spot, pushing away from him. Gangplank with no flash is taken down.
This is exactly what we talked about, Kobe, and Jankos reads it too. He finds himself his 4th kill of the game, 100% kill participation, and coming into this series, you were talking about it, Kobe. We keep our eyes on the junglers, and so far, Jankos is the one that's getting this early lead for G2.
A lot of this all built out at level 1. The flashless CoreJJ was targeted. The bot lane pressure has been great as G2 can find ways to win through every single one of these lanes. Caps very frequently selfless in his ability to roam down or TP down to get the sides and get those kills coming through.
Yeah, G2 have been one of the best teams at identifying just one weakness and forcing that weakness into a cascading effect of advantages for their entire map. Right now, so much, pretty much everywhere except for mid lane is going extremely well for them.
And this is something that Deficio was saying on the desk, where Caps is a player that is more than happy to sacrifice his own resources to better enable the team. And he's an individual that, on Morgana, can just offer a lot of utility. He's not there to be the damage dealer. He's there to provide a black shield, provide the CC from his binding and his ult, and then allow players like PerkZ, like Wunder, to be the big threats as we move into the mid-game.
And of course, good thing for that is both Wunder and PerkZ are the gold leaders of the game above everyone else on the Rift. Now a fight towards bottom side yet again. Jankos still here to counter gank, and Predator will be nothing.
Yeah, first Predator cooldown there for Xmithie, used to get in position. Jankos is the level ahead, and so him going down bottom side for the counter gank as well means there's no fight opportunity.
Well, they find the ult on a PerkZ, though. Good damage. Now the ult on top. Looking for the dive underneath the turret. His Gangplank can't be turned around. 5-0 to G2.
DoubleLift looks like that he's in a position to punish PerkZ. He throws out the ultimate and they think, hey, we can go for this. But Mickey says, no, you will not touch my AD carry. Immediately flash ulties on top of DoubleLift and forces him to collapse.
And whenever a team has this much control over bottom side of the map, means Dragon is theirs for the taking. Xmithie's full health, and he wants to contest it. DoubleLift, as you can see on the mini-map, though, is so far away, they won't have the numbers to do it.
Tremendous Soul helps guarantee it, and the last auto attack comes through as the Dragons picked up at 10 minutes. G2 eSports, the gold lead already, 3,000. The Ocean Drake helped cement it. They are smashing game 1.
Take another look at this. CoreJJ uses the Devour onto DoubleLift, and as you said, they did get the ultimate, but Mykix goes right in, immediately lands a knockup, and we're back to live, back to a dead Tahm Kench.
Looks like CoreJJ ulted the Skarner in, but there were already reinforcements, and a 3v2 is an easy kill. This is getting out of hand. Team Liquid falling away rapidly as you do have an answer for every single move that is made.
Jankos is popping off in this game. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time at every single moment. He has been involved in every single kill, and he's almost at a point where he has that license to kill.
Yeah, just a case of hammering an advantage on the map in the same spot over and over and over again. Team Liquid trying to make plays there, but they're so weak that they're always starting with a disadvantage and overextending here and being punished. Here's another look at the attempt at trying to right what has gone wrong here, but they go right into 3 members. Another teleport is available for G2. They have Caps once again on the Morgana, using it to the bottom side, top side impact.
Oh, Demonic Ascension looking to knock down Impact it again, forces the flash out of him. This time Wunder can't chase through, but it's still a big summoner down, and as Jankos comes up and kills a wave of ward, Impact is no longer allowed to lane up here.
Really good play there from Impact. Is the same thing that he does before, where he utilizes the slow to then flash around the long wall up towards top side and create a big enough gap that allows him to get away from Wunder. The other thing that I wanted to highlight that G2 has been doing extremely well so far this game is, if we have a quick look at the minimap, you'll notice towards the bottom side, they've actually managed to maintain such excellent vision control, which is why they've been able to come out on top of every single play that has happened. Every time Xmithie tries to claw something back for the TL duo, it is there for a counter gank from Jankos in this area of Dog.
Ooh, an attempted fight almost comes through, but Jankos gets into the fog of war just in time, but Impact still chasing out of this one. Has the flash, though. Jankos could get away, and there will not be a fight to be had. They're going to try to babysit this relic here to hope that the Rift Herald is not picked up then by G2, but they've got to wait around a while for this one.
Jensen and the duo of DoubleLift and CoreJJ have been brought up towards the mid lane, which means that Caps has now moved down towards bot. He doesn't have the teleport, but he's just picking up plates, making up for the small disadvantage that he finds himself in. But of course, Impact with the Gangplank ultimate can mitigate this and keep that bot tower alive.
Yeah, and even with the Gangplank ultimate, Caps gets another plate off that turret. That is about half the value of the Rift Herald Eye itself. So in him continuing to push down bottom, they still get some value out of Team Liquid camping that objective.
Ooh, nice ult right there by PerkZ. Gets away from the shockwave. Jensen's first of the game, it looks like, and still no kills on the board for TL. The best they've gotten is denying picking up the Rift Herald, but bot lane still hemorrhaging gold in every single one of these lanes, aside from mid, a lead here for G2.
Now, one of the big things for Team Liquid in their series against IG was that in the early game, they would actually match Invictus Gaming in a lot of these early skirmishes, and they actually found themselves in a decent gold lead very early on into the game. It was often in the mid game when IG looked to play around Baron, where they looked to falter, and then they relied on their late game team fighting. The core difference here is that every time TL has tried to match, they failed. They haven't been able to pick up any kills. They haven't been able to trade anywhere else on the map. And right now for Team Liquid, it feels like that they're losing just across the board.
They might be losing even some more as the fourth play comes out of top lane. Here comes a dive on Impact yet again. Demonic Ascension, but can they burn him down? Yes, DoubleLift is there to turn around the first kill of the final, but Jankos able to cleanly walk away, gets the flash out of the tongue lash.
So Team Liquid finally answer back. CoreJJ with a clutch ultimate to help cut off the escape route of Wunder, and the arrival of DoubleLift secures Team Liquid's first kill of the game.
They have to keep looking for those opportunities. You have to fight your way back into a game. If something that we have learned over the last couple of international tournaments, you cannot sit back and hope for the mistakes of your opponent to get you back inside. You have to create some opportunities. And you're gonna have to create a lot of them because G2 have an overwhelming early game lead.
And it's what we saw from SKT yesterday when they went up against G2 in Game 4. SKT nearly pulled it back with their miracle plays, and now we get to see here the dive being set up from G2. DoubleLift coming in from the lane, a beautiful flash ultimate, and the rest of G2 are nowhere else to answer. The Morgana doesn't have the teleport, the Xayah Rakan have just gone back to base. Very easy punish from the side of Team Liquid.
In the aftermath, G2 back out on the map there with PerkZ are able to finish up the turret, and now the only outer turret that is left standing for Team Liquid is that mid lane. That is their bastion of hope. That is their point of defense right now. With the dragon spawning, I think it will be dangerous for them to even attempt to go out into neutral territory, and they should probably remain defensive at this time. They simply do not have the extra information to try and set up an offensive move.
We'll see if Team Liquid's defense can be good because G2 have to keep the pressure on. The next Drake has spawned very recently. We have 5 minutes until Baron, but the mid lane's already there. That bastion of defense just being shut down. 1 kill picked up ready to Xmithie, and look out for Jensen rooted. Shockwave is not going to be enough. They trade 1-4 at the end of it all, and now Jankos able to walk away off that kill.
Yet that's not over!
And Wunder's gonna find one as well. Impact is summonerless. He's trying to get away from the slows. He's got CoreJJ, but Jankos finds a knockup. Now trying to ferry him to safety, pushed away, but Mykix finds it again. They look for the kill and the support, and they will get yet another. It's 11-2, and G2 cannot be stopped.
G2 find themselves 4 more kills as DoubleLift tries to get something back on the other side of the map. They set up the dive on the mid lane. The Xayah Rakan combined with Caps' Morgana just swept through Jensen, who's just barely able to get something back for Team Liquid.
G2 making a statement in game number 1 here. The killer instinct alive in all of them. Going for the dive here. Mykix does get both of them, locking them up, so they pick up the first kill here. Jensen does get away, and with his shockwave, he trades back. The silver lining for Team Liquid getting that 1,000 gold bounty shutdown that you just saw, but then Impact caught in his own jungle here as Wunder and Jankos turn on him.
And notice here how Jankos realizes Impact is already dead. He wants to get more targets, so he dives onto CoreJJ. He focuses the support so that he cannot take Impact to safety, and with no flash, there was nowhere for CoreJJ to go.
Absolutely immaculate play. Jankos 1-0-9 in the final. He is a man who has stepped up large in G2's big victories. The World Semifinalist and MSI finals, maybe the champion of that as well. As a smite goes Xmithie's way, but the jungle being pulled apart, the gold lead still massive here. Despite that shutdown, it's actually grown. It's 7K now. As we saw earlier, G2, their biggest early game lead we have seen so far at MSI, and they are far and away the better team in game 1.
Things are looking very good for G2 in this first game of the best of 5. Still a long series to go, but they still have to be able to close it out. And remember that Team Liquid, they found some very big comebacks up against Invictus Gaming by punishing the small mistakes. And while they are at a big deficit, if they can find a good Baron, if they can get another big shutdown onto G2, then maybe they have Windows back. Note that the Orianna already with the Luden's Echo completed and the Nullifying Orb.
Yeah. Yep. You want to check the inventories for both stopwatches as well as QSSs at this point. Because one of the possible ways to find a pick, of course, is that Skarner ultimate. You're going to have to watch out for the Morgana positioning, though.
3 stopwatches on G2. No Quicksilver Sash just yet. Those picks could maybe happen, but it's probably difficult. Mid lane siege goes for yet another round, and it's Team Liquid backing off. A little bit of wave clear, but they will submit, and they will knock down one. Now here comes the engagement again. Mykix finding several charms. The dunk comes in, but CoreJJ brings Skarner to safety. Wunder coming in with the Demonic Ascension, has a lot of damage available. Explodes it for one, almost knocks down Xmithie. No death just yet. Impact's had to run away, slowed down now by Cat. Fine's gonna come in. Shockwave finds a bit of damage, but no kills just yet. It's 2 for G2 and make it a third. They will not be stopped. They push through to the mid lane, and the 2-2 turret will fall. Xmithie just barely getting the recall away, but this is G2 pushing into the inhibitor turrets.
G2 ripped through Team Liquid in game 1. Only 18.5 minutes, and they find themselves another 3 kills. They expose the base, but they don't want the inhibitor. They just want to walk away with the gold and walk away happy.
G2 with the lead since the level 1 before. Oh, DoubleLift does get hit.
Takes some damage onto his Wunder, slows him down as well, but he can't take that fight either. Xmithie hoping that people are outnumbered. There's a squad nearby, actually, and there was not a fight to be had as Team Liquid walks away empty-handed.
So the first thing I want to draw viewers' attentions to as we get into this replay is the minimap. Notice where the Varus is, sitting in the top lane, which means this is a 4v5. G2 see this as an opportunity to force the engage, and Mickey focuses on the front line to keep them distracted while G2 get in position. The Jarvan locks down the Tahm Kench. You see a lot of AoE hitting pretty much everyone, yet the shockwave is yet to come out, but it doesn't matter because DoubleLift's ulti misses, and now Jensen is just looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, Jensen does hit a shockwave onto 2 G2 carries, but everyone else on Team Liquid has already been chucked out. So there's no opportunity for any follow-up there, and G2 steamroll ahead. They've opened the way into Team Liquid's base. Inhibitor turret destroyed.
Also great awareness from Caps at the very end of that replay. He sidestepped a Varus Q in the midst of all that chaos. Just to have that awareness in that moment meant that Team Liquid, again, could have found that one small shutdown, but G2 end up losing no one.
All right, all that's left now for G2 is a bit of control around the Baron buff. They've already opened up Team Liquid's base. If they get the Baron, that will be the power they need to finish it off.
And here's the beginning of it, inside Fog of War, and you can just look at Team Liquid's movements, how far back they are, how reserved they are, and they'll be giving this one away. Team Liquid, oh, the stopwatch is burned, that's capped without one resource. Now Xmithie is coming forward, does not have his flash, no blast cone. It is unstealable, and G2 earned through their map control and team fighting a sub 21-minute Baron.
Very clean early game and overall game from the side of G2. They punished the weak point, the flashless CoreJJ in the bottom side of the map. They then converted that into punishing impact towards the top side to try and get Wunder ahead. And Jankos, to me, has just been the biggest playmaker of this team. 1-0 and 12, been involved in 13 of the 14 kills. He has stepped up massively throughout this tournament, and he is carrying G2 through this game 1.
Definitely has been an exceptional snowball here from G2. Team Liquid, when they continue to look for those plays to try and fight back into the game, there has always been an answer at every turn from G2. It's resulted in a very one-sided game. Now with Baron buff, they are knocking at the doors.
Team Liquid gonna grab the best that they can with Impact still pushing the bottom lane as they lose the health of this top side turret. It's wave clear and waiting, and hoping they don't lose too much. Mid is pushed in now as well as G2 continue the 5-man siege.
Now notice how G2 have split up across 2 lanes. They're not all funneling into one. They don't want to give Team Liquid that opportunity that they found against Invictus Gaming. The Spooky Ghosts are going to come out from Caps as he looks for a binding.
Slow, and now a bind for the Xmithie. Will this be the engage? They put their feathers down. No root. Shockwave on the 3. Here comes the engage from Mickey, though. Gets the first knockup. Looks for the backline side. Plenty of damage coming through as Xmithie trying to run away. The turret's going to drop, but no champions just yet. Caps very low, but not dead either. Impact TPing in, and now on the backside, here comes Demon Flare, and it's a double kill already. Team Liquid pushed completely off. Double inhibitor gonna fall. The Nexus soon to follow.
Baron buff on G2, all 5 members standing, and they are on the Nexus turrets.
G2's first international championship since 2011 could be coming in now. One Nexus turret falling. They hope as game 1 of 3 could happen for them, but they will back off. 23 minutes in, they will wait, they will reset. With more than a minute to Baron, the flash re-engage. They caught Jensen unaware. What a great kill for Mickey. They find the second as well. Psych, they're gonna end the game. No, they're not gonna reset after all.
The bait and switch into the bait and switch. G2, they look like they wanted to try and finish it there with the respawns of DoubleLift and Impact. They do not want to overcommit. They're going to walk away with the kills, extending it to 18-2. They have a 13,000 gold lead, and they're going to be happy with that for now.
Phreak with the triple psych there.
Yeah.
Does get me. Let me remind you, this is the first game of a best of 5. Here is another snare, though. Mickey, every time Jensen goes in with the shockwave and finds it, Mickey answers with the Rakan, finds the engage for G2. All they needed was a way inside the base to force the fight. And then Wunder, you can see, makes his way past Xmithie. This Swain at the center of the team fight, sectioning off all of Team Liquid's members there, finds the 2 kills, destroys the base, and the Baron buff is still active, so G2 can continue the push.
And it's the support staff of G2 in this game 1, Mickey and Jankos. I've been giving a lot of praise to Jankos, but you highlighted it there. Mickey on these Rakan engages have been setting up so many great fights and turning around a lot of potential fights that Team Liquid tried to start. And now you can see him on the potential flank, looking for another opportunity as G2 push in towards the bot side of the map with only 8 seconds left on this Baron.
Well, that Baron has done plenty. 3,000 gold lead through that buff as double inhibitors are down, and this bottom inhib will drop its turret at the very least. Team Liquid gonna back off. A nice bind. Is this the engage? He's gonna be grabbed by CoreJJ, but here comes the dunk, and here's the engage by Wunder once again as they look for these kills. A big Charm to knock him in the back line. It's already 1 kill. Make it a second as the Team Liquid members are falling fast and furious. G2 eSports in commanding fashion will take Game 1 of the 2019 MSI Finals. Europe versus North America, and G2 strikes first.
Honestly, a very beautiful game from the side of G2 eSports. The way in which they converted that early lead into such a powerful mid-game. It was just so one-sided. Team Liquid, it felt like that even though they tried to match, they tried so many times to be proactive and do what they did against Invictus Gaming, it just felt like that G2 read the play and shut them down every time.
Oftentimes, when you're behind on one side of the map, if you try and funnel more resources into trying saving that side of the map, then you just lose harder and harder, and that's what it looked like. More and more of an advantage from G2 defending that area.
And we talked about it in the draft where we were wondering where the junglers were going to go. Would it be top side or bot side? Because reality... Look, the thing is that when the bot side started to fall for Team Liquid, they couldn't play through mid. Orianna trying to snowball against the Morgana just isn't realistic. So in that moment, Xmithie's like, well, I don't know. Can I try and get a Gangplank ahead against the Swain? Can I try and get the bot lane? Maybe I can. But in the end, it felt like that they had no options. They had no way to come back, and they got shut down.
He talked a little bit about it after their group stage games, but drafting more agency in their lane matchups so that they can actually create action is going to be very big if they want the series to go a different way.
We'll see what happens. 2 kills given up, 2 turrets given up, and